Okay, hello. Alright, so we have the next step for the flat double bead. I went ahead and let the glue dry, and then I went across the tops of the bead with gold acrylic paint, because now I'm going to cover the bead with a nice pattern. I've decided to just not tear out, but cut out some pieces on a magazine that was very colorful. So I'm choosing this one that has multiple colors in it, because what I'm going to do at the end is make tassels to dangle on one end of the bead, and then I'll put beads here and then string it for a necklace. So we are going to glue this piece on to the bead, and again I'm going to use Mod Podge, and I'll be back to show you what it looks like. Alright, I am back to show you the final results of the flat double bead. And I went ahead and put tassels on the ends, and what I used was embroidery thread, wire, 2 brass, or actually 3 brass accent beads, some gold paint, and another bead to show as an accent as well. So what I did was, to put all this together, was allow in the beginning the double bead to actually set up. I went ahead and put a first coat of Mod Podge to set the bead, the paper. Then I had to decide again on what color paper I was going to use to cover the bead. So I liked this particular design, so I went ahead and chose gold as an accent around the edges. So I used my gold metallic paint, acrylic paint, and I painted around the bead on the edges, just the edges. I didn't need to paint anywhere else. I let that set up and dry. Then I went back and glued my actual paper to the bead. As you could tell, this is the back side, so I measured out the paper to make sure that it folded over itself, and had basically enough to cover the whole bead, with the exception of the edges, and that shows where the gold paint is. And what I did, I decided how I was going to display the holes, or how do you say, the edges. So I used basically the, what do you call these, accent beads that I bought from a craft store, which actually ties in very well with the gold accent around the edges. Then I used wire to wrap around the actual tassels, and that gave it a nice accent. What I did was I drew the embroidery thread up, which gave me about 2.5 inches on each side of thread to draw through the bead. Tied the threads together, then I set the knots with Mod Podge, let that dry. Then I had to decide what type of accent at the top I was going to use. So what I did was I used one of these larger hole beads that would cover the knot, plus the wire that I wrapped around the knot to secure it. making sure that it would not fall apart. Drew another brass bead to give it some extra accent, and then looped the wire to make a hole that would be good for my cord that I'm going to use. I'm not sure what color cord. I might get the purple, green, but it's going to be a cord that's going to turn this into an excellent necklace. So the supplies that I used were 22 gauge brass wire, embroidery thread, wire cutters, round nose pliers, beads for accent, paintbrush, gold metallic paint, and this is Duraclear gloss varnish that sets the paper and makes it kind of semi-waterproof, and Mod Podge. And so that was it. Basically, this is the completed double flat bead that someone requested that I complete the bead to give an idea of what you can do with it. So I chose to make a necklace with tassels. Okay, so as always, enjoy what you do. Your passion is your purpose. So until next time, take care.